Hi guys, in this video I'm going to share how I made my journey from 2000 to 2100 rating. Now most of y'all may be searching on YouTube for a lot of videos on how to get to 2100 from 2000 after working so hard to get to 2000, and it just doesn't seem to happen. You know your openings, you know how to play well, you're able to play your middle games well, everything. But just that edge isn't there that's bringing you towards 2100. So I'm going to tell you some important points that will make your score go up to 2100. Let's get started. So the first point we need to take care of is to follow the fundamentals of the game at all times. Now when people's rating is increasing with time, they normally get a sense of pride in them and think that they know the game all in and all out. So I'm here to take that misconception away and let you know that there's a lot more to learn, and that we have to stick to our basics even when we are rated 2100, 2200 or even 2700 as a GM. So let me run by some fundamentals. Some fundamentals include: firstly, don't move the pawns near your king too much. Let's see in this opening. White plays e4, let's say black plays e5, knight f3, knight c6. Basically a general developing game, and we castle. Now here something to take care is these three pawns in front of your king move the least, because they do the very important work of guarding your king. So at all times try to minimize the movement of these three pawns, as they're very helpful to your king, and movement of any one square can weaken one or the other square. Let's see how. Let's say you move this pawn, then this square gets weakened and the bishop can land right there. If we move this pawn, then the bishop can at any time, let's say, come here or here and create pinning ideas, and this square becomes weak. So try not to move the pawns in front of your king. Second, a piece never moves twice in an opening. Now if you see this opening, and let's say over here black plays bishop e7, and here I again put my bishop back. Now this would be a waste of the move, as I'm preventing the development of my pieces and I'm just moving one piece twice. It really doesn't help me, and it benefits the opponent, because being black, he gets to be in front. Normally white is the one to play first, but then black gets to be in the front seat here because I've just wasted a move playing the same piece twice. So try to minimize the movement of one piece twice in an opening. Third, choose the right diagonal for your bishop before moving it. While playing many games, I've realized one thing. That is, always choose the best diagonal for your bishop before you develop it. So you analyze which is the best diagonal for your bishop. Let's take an advantage of this bishop. Now if we see, there are two diagonals it can go on. One is this, where it covers this space, and one is this. So these are two diagonals. If we analyze correctly, let's see. If we put the bishop here by some means, let's say we push our pawn and move our knight and open this diagonal, we see that this bishop isn't really having a lot, because this e4 pawn is blocking the bishop at all times, and I can just play a move like d3 and consolidate my position and prevent him to even move his bishop in the future. So it's kind of a waste. So it's clear that his bishop either belongs to the e6 square or the g4 square. So here we make a wise choice and move our bishop along this diagonal. This may seem easy now because this is a standard opening, but then when the situation gets hard, you may have to make the right decision even under pressure. Fourth, always search for open files for your rook. This rule is there mainly for the endgame, and the rooks, as you can see in the endgame, belong to the 7th rank or any open file as such. So here I would like to play rook e1 maybe after he castles, because it gives my rook space. All rooks demand is space, and you should give it to the rooks by putting it in the 7th rank or in an open file. So these are some of the fundamentals that you should know. There are many more of them, but I've covered 4 of them in this video. So let's get to the second important point. The second important point is, as you get higher and higher in rating, the accuracy of your openings must increase considerably. Now when we play as let's say a 1500 or a 1400, the accuracy of the opening isn't that much, and your opponent really doesn't punish you for that. But when we get to the ratings of 2100, 2200 and so on, the opponent starts to punish you for every small mistake you do in the opening. So Opening is something that can be known, and here are some openings I suggest you must know. The Sicilian goes along the lines of e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6 and d4. Mostly black takes here, followed by the knight taking and a move like e6. So this is one of the most famous openings that is played by black, and it's a must know. Second, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6 and bishop b5. Now this is called the Ruy Lopez opening, and there's another variant where you can play the Italian version by going bishop c4. These are two variants where you play e4 and your opponent replies with e5. This is a very solid game. Mostly at the Grandmaster level it ends in draws, but then in our level it's worth the fight. This is a very solid opening, and the lines go along him developing his knight. Let's say I play d3, he develops his bishop, castles, and the game goes on. This is the Ruy Lopez. Then we move ahead to the Caro-Kann. The Caro-Kann goes along the lines of e4 and black responds with c6. This is one of my personal favorite openings and I like to play it a lot. Here in general, white's reply is to play d4 taking the center, and black replies with d5. Here white has two options, either to take or to push forward. When he takes, we can just take back. When he pushes forward, we play c5 immediately. This is the main line of Caro-Kann, and this is a must know. Most people here get frightened and think that the pawn is too much far ahead and causes problem. So theory of this position is a must know. So these are some of the openings that I've covered. You can go on and the list is never ending. Other openings include the King's Gambit, the Queen's Gambit, the Sveshnikov defense and many more. So openings are very important in this level and they demand high accuracy. And in the middle game, it's very important to know the basics of the game. Which diagonal should your bishop go to? The pawn in front of your king doesn't move. As much as possible, try to reduce it, because in some circumstances you may have to move it. But these are some of the basic steps that you have to go past, and you will get to 2100 upon some practice. These steps that I've just taught are to be practiced on, and with time it'll be a muscle memory and you'll get better at it, and slowly your rating will climb. Let me know if your rating has climbed through these steps. Thank you.